I want to talk about meditation, certain practices, and the relation with the end goal of spiritual process, which is, of course, liberation. Why do people even meditate? Why is it needed? Why do they do it? If truth is always present, God is everywhere, what's the point of trying for anything? Spiritually, as a practice, what do you have to do to realize, to see something that is already here? So, in asceticism, there are certain practices. I'm speaking specifically for that now, because in meditation, for example, we have Kriya Yoga, and you try to manage to organize the elements, the 5 elements. And there are practices or types of yogas to do that, to have them in a specific organized way. Let me keep it more simple. Let's say that you praying, or let's say that you fasting, or that you deprive yourself from water, or you stay awake all night. That's a certain practice people do. Or you stay completely still with your body. Those things that I just told you are actually ways to organize an element. For example, if you do not eat, you fast, it has to do with the element of earth, which is food. If you deprive yourself from water, you want to manage the liquid element. If you become still, it's fire. For thoughts, it's the lack of sleep. You stay up all night. This is certain ascetic practices people do, of course, combined with mantra chanting or other things. Praying is a different thing. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because you organize the elements for a reason. You just don't try, you just don't torture yourself for no reason. A simple way to put it is that God is a loving, honest frequency. To get in touch with that, which is already here, of course, you need to be in a certain way. You need to be empty of yourself, which means honestly, first of all, being able to see all that you need to see. And this is why you organize the elements, because otherwise you will not see things that are, or maybe you will see them, but you will try to avoid them. And that's not good. That's you're trying to not avoid anything, to encompass everything. And by doing that, you reach a state of unconditional love, of encompassing everything, compassion, acceptance, whatever you want to name it or call it. The only thing that makes your mind move around all the time is your desire for avoidance. Some things you label as good, others as bad, and therefore you try to move away from the bad towards the good. That's Why the agitation? That's why certain faculties are not in your control. Because you avoid stuff. Especially within you. You avoid pain. You avoid suffer. You avoid pain. And this is why you're training yourself to be there even when there is no sleep, even when there is no movement, even when the itch comes, even when the negativity or whatever, negative thoughts or whatever you label as that, or energies, or you stay here. You stay and you try to encompass, and this transforms the individual. And when you are transformed and empty, you will be filled with something. And this something not needs, it has, you want to be God. This is the proper way to pray. You first empty yourself. You being honest, you say, you speak to God about your problems, all the things you try to avoid actually. And depending on where your attention is, you confess your mistakes, and this is, you empty yourself. This is what you do. And then you pray. You find a prayer, you connect to God, and you ask for help and light and love and forgiveness. And you're full of life, full of light, enlightened. That's why people do the practices. They meditate. But practice is not the goal, it's the means to a goal. To connect.